Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Pop Culture History Podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me today is model Catfighter, my good friend, Miss Angelina Knight. Angelina, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again.
As always, it's a pleasure. You guys can check out my last interview here with Angelina on the Mike with Mike series. And I got to say, a lot has happened in your neck of the woods, man. You're doing your thing with kimchi. You're doing your thing all over the place. You're very much of a hot commodity on the social media front and the fighter aspect as well. You're killing it.
Thank you. I'm trying.
I know, you're very welcome. Now let's talk about the kimchi before we get into the pop culture side of things here. Talk about the kimchi fight, man, because I saw some of the footage. I saw some of the photos. You were kicking some ass and taking names. Kicks, strikes, holds. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, that was my toughest fight I've ever had. You know, because she's not in my weight class, so I had to actually, work for it. But no, she taught me a couple of moves that I was never taught, when I first started catfighting. So I got to learn a couple of things from her, which was, in the future, it'll definitely help.
But what's cool about it too is, man, the travel as well. You get to do what's great about catfighting and just in general with everything that you got going on. You guys have been doing a lot of traveling, so you got to see not a lot of new spots. So I mean, hey, the grind never stops and the travel never stops. I look forward to seeing what you do going forward in the catfighting scene.
I hope to get some more catfights. Personal life is, kind of taken off right now. So planning and scheduling and trying to, divide my personal life and then my fetish life has been kind of difficult. But I'm finally able to be, I'm back to traveling again. So now I get to hopefully plan at least a couple of trips before my kids go back to school.
Hey, first and foremost, I got to say, going back to some sense of normalcy where we have these vaccinations and everything that we've dealt with through the last year. And like you said, your kids going back to school. It's a nice sense of normalcy, so to speak, since we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I can't wait for them to go back to school.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. That's every parent's dream. You know what I'm saying? Not just from now, from the beginning of time. Every parent can't wait till they go back to school. But no, hey man, but that's still at the end of the day, it's your kids. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. My parents used to feel that way about me when I had to go back to school. So I get it. I totally understand that age. Oh my goodness. But first and foremost, I got to say, what's great about it too is going back to school. And I mean, there's some pop culture right there. Every time you go back to school, you know what I'm saying? It's a drag for everybody. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things like, you get closer and you inch out towards your way from junior high to high school. And then you go into the real world. So it's kind of like a plus and it's kind of like a minus because it's like, oh man, I want to stay in school. But god dang, man, I'm so happy to be out there. So you have mixed feelings.
Yeah, I did not enjoy high school whatsoever. I didn't have a good schooling experience. So when I graduated, I pretty much gave my school both my middle fingers and was like, I don't miss. I still to this day, like, nope, I do not miss school. I miss being like younger. I definitely wish I could start over, after graduation, but I do not miss school. I don't miss anything about it. So I can't relate to that aspect, but I do miss being younger, like, after graduation. I'd definitely go back and rewind and make different mistakes.
Well, see, I also can actually relate to that in a way as well, because like I mentioned, like the optimistic side of things, like I mentioned the plus and the minus, but I mean, for me, like I was a kid that got bullied since like kindergarten, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to enjoy my sandwiches. God dang, man, what's wrong with a ham and cheese sandwich and peanut butter and jelly, for God's sake? Let me eat my sandwich alone, god damn it. But no, I digress. It's one of the things where, kids are kids, and it's when you get to high school, like I'll be honest with you, I've dealt with it. It kind of like lingered down, if you will, around like 11th, 12th grade because we're out of there. But I too, like you, I stuck my tongue out at my school, and not middle finger wise, but I did stick my tongue out and give him the old because god dang it, man. High school, middle school, I came from an area on Long Island where there was a lot of kids getting into fights, and there was a lot of let me say drugs, if you will, from heroin, from dip, from everything involved. So yeah, it was nice to get out of that school. It was a nice area, but there was a lot of bad stuff that went down. So it was nice to get out of that scenery, if you will.
Yeah, middle school was not, I mean, I don't know. Middle school was fine because that's when like everybody's, learning who they are, kind of, and getting like their sense of style, their sense of friends. And high school, I was just like, I was picked away from all of my friends that I had made, and I had to go to a private school. So I go from, my public school to this like fucking popular, sit up straight, don't say a cuss word kind of school. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So, um, my junior year, um, I actually got expelled, um, for someone had locked all of the bathroom stall doors, like literally locked the bathroom stall doors.
Mhm.
And I walked in and I had to piss, like to where like you know, I could have just pissed myself, but I was like running and I was like crossing my legs and I like go to run into the bathroom stall and it's locked. I literally like fall backwards. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and all the doors were locked. So I kicked the door down to, use the fucking bathroom. And a teacher walked in and saw me destroy their property, as they worded it. And shortly after I was done pissing, I was told to go to the principal's office. And whatever teacher it was at the time, told the principal that I purposely locked the bathroom stalls and was, planning to destroy property because something happened earlier that week with my gym teacher, which did actually happen. So they thought I was like out to purposely destroy their school. And I really cannot make this shit up. I'm in the principal's office. The principal called my mom and was like, "Yeah, we have your daughter here, and we have her suspended for 1 week." And she's like, "The fuck do you have her suspended for?" And they explained the situation. And mom's like, "No, I'm unenrolling her. Like I'm coming to get her right now." And they're like, "Well, if you enroll her, then we're just gonna expel her." She's like, "Well, I don't give a fuck what you do. She's not going to your school." So I'm like,
Jesus.
oh, okay. And this was, mind you, in February of my junior year. So, yeah, I get unenrolled and I have to wait 2 weeks to go back to public schooling where all my old friends were. So, I had to readjust to 60 kids total to the private school to like 300, 400 kids in high school. So that was fun. Like, I love my life right now. I was like literally eating in the bathroom because all of my friends, I never had any classes with them. We had different lunch periods. So I literally ate in the bathroom the rest of my junior year. And then my senior year, I was just like, a lot of other personal shit happened. So I was skipping school and drinking, and I was like on the verge of failing. So I, I'm still surprised I graduated high school, actually. If I'm being completely honest.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so going back now, I'm going to say this right now. First and foremost, when you're talking about you're eating in the bathroom, like again, that sounds like something that you would see on a TV show, but at the end of the day, based off real events, you know what I'm saying? And when you're talking about going from public school to the private school, so pretty much when you're talking about standing up straight, because my father went to St. John the Baptist on Long Island, which is like, you know what I'm saying? It's a private school. It's St. John the Baptist, nuns and sit up straight and everything in general. It's a Catholic school, but when it comes to like private schools, so pretty much you're kind of like the School of Rock, where they're all wearing the the uniforms and stuff like that. It's kind of the equivalent of what Jack Black was in the School of Rock, but making it cooler without the rock part of it.
It was awful. I hated it every day.
That's what it is, though, too. I mean, that's the generalization of what we see with schools. There's the, public school, and then there's the private school. Public school where it's more open, it's more lenient. Is there going to be a share of trouble too? But yeah, but you're spreading your individuality, if you will, and everybody's showing their uniqueness. Then it's the private school where it's just like military school every goddamn day. So I can see it, you know what I'm saying? Because they all want you to look the same and shit. It's just, ugh, that's rough. That really is rough. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. God dang, man. I'll be honest with you. Like you were saying, you don't know how you graduate. I mean, you talk about drinking, you talk about skipping school. You were on the verge. This is a troubled youth, if you will, to put this from the psychological standpoint. But at the end of the day, girl, you did it.
Yeah, I really did. I don't know how. Um, it was around March, so I had literally 2 months to get straight F's to at least a C average, and I was that student that didn't go home till like 4 or 5 o'clock because I was doing extra credit to get my grades up. And then I was always getting accused of, sucking a teacher off. I'm like, no, trust me, if I was sucking the teacher off, I'd be leaving earlier, not later.
See, all right, now I'm gonna say that's a schema right there, man. You're just playing out. I would have done it earlier. See, I'm gonna say that right now, man. That's some mind games right there. That's some working of the mind right there. I mean, that's again troubled youth, but god dang, man, you're plotting out your points and plotting out your times. I like that. I can respect that, man. That's some calculated stuff right there. That's what you learned in your youth, you know?
Because I wasn't living at home either. So I
Jesus.
literally, yeah, I was like house hopping, and I lived with an ex boyfriend for about a month or two, and we definitely were not together. But his mom, like, always loved me as her own. So I was chilling at my ex boyfriend's house, like, can I get a ride to school? And his mom, of course, was like, making him take me to and from school. Like, he took me to school, he picked me up, and then afterwards, like, I kind of just did my own thing. But yeah, I didn't see my family. Let's say I moved out 2 days after my 18th birthday, and my birthday's in October. So I moved out November 2nd. In the middle of a school day, I called one of my old friends and was like, I'm moving out. I don't want to go back home. I'm 18 now, blah blah blah. And I didn't go home. And I like blocked my mom, blocked her number, my stepdad's number. And moved in with my friend and lived with her for a couple months. And then moved in with my at the time boyfriend. And then we broke up, so I was still like stuck living with him. And then like around the end of March, I was like, Mom, can I come home?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah. Um, I made my life a living hell though, because I was failing school. I was like, definitely not in the right state of mind. So I had to adjust to being like this free person, to moving back home to get my grades back up, and being on lockdown, because my mom was like, you're not going anywhere, you want to leave home. And I was literally like, I mean, I don't blame her. Because, when you're 18, you're not an adult. Like,
Mhm. You
you're
think you're
not at all. Yeah,
well, you
exactly.
think you're
So,
an adult. Let's rephrase. You think you're an adult.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I struggled a lot. Um, but I passed. I graduated. Um, so that was the year of 2010. Spent the summer back at home. Got like my shit together, and then I ended up getting my first apartment at the end of August to start adulthood again. And that lasted like about a month.
Oh
Um,
goodness.
and then I got back into drugs again. Um, really, really bad for about 3 months. My mom found out, and it was like a week before Christmas. Um, her and my stepdad and my uncle at the time, who was a police officer, showed up and was like, yeah, you either come home right now, or, he's going to pink slip you and take you to jail, because I was only 19. And I was like, I'll go home. So I packed my shit. I still had my apartment. Like, I literally was still like, had my apartment, had everything there. I packed a duffel bag, and this was in December. So I moved back home confidently, like, the beginning of April. And
Whew.
then I was just like, I can't be alone, because I still had like those urges,
Mhm.
when you're a druggie and, you're an addict. So I finished up my lease, moved out in June, and I lived with my mom for about a year and a half. And that's my sad little story.
First and foremost, I'm glad that you got through all that to see where you are now today. Like we were talking about, like you're doing your thing, you're doing what makes you happy, and you got beautiful children. You're doing what you were doing as a mother and as a person. But it's not a sad story because a lot of people can relate to that. When you go off on drugs and then you're on lockdown, you're getting your grades to be where they need to be so you can graduate. I mean, it's rough times and it's hard times, if you will. But it's one of those things where it's made you a stronger person, so you can actually take that outlook on it, if you will.
Yeah, I try to see it that way, but it's funny because when people look at me, they don't ever expect like to hear any of that.
Well, that's the thing when it comes to don't judge a book by its cover, different perceptions of people. It's one of those things where like we hold that in, but it's one of those things as well. To reiterate, it's like sometimes it's just like what, we go through shit and we get out of shit. It's you know what I'm saying. Sometimes we lose ourselves, but it's up to ourselves to find our way back. And I got to say, you found your way back.
Yes, it took me very long. I mean, I'm still like to this day, like I'll be 30 in October, and I'm still like I'm not trying to figure out who I am. Like, I know who I am, but it's just, because you grow every day. It's not like you reach a certain age, you're like, well, I'm done growing. So, but no, I used to be like kind of embarrassed to like tell people, my past, but I'm fucking proud because even the shit that I'm dealing with now in my personal life, like with, um, like I'm getting divorced right now. I don't know if anyone knew that, but I'm going through a really, really toxic, um, really narcissistic asshole ex-husband divorce. So dealing with that, trying to be a mom, trying to be, me and be happy and, all the mixed emotions that come with divorce. This is my first one. I don't know what the fuck to expect. Like, I asked my mom, like, what, my mom's married 4 times. So, like, this is my first one. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. And she's like, they all suck, whether you hate the person or not. So she's like, you just really need to take this time, like, I'm finally free. Like, I'm not even sad about the divorce. I'm just, nobody wants a broken family. So, like, deep down, I feel, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It makes sense. I mean, it's one of those things where like you're going through the divorce. I mean, first and foremost, as a male, I will say not all of us are narcissistic assholes. As one of them. But no, I mean, it's one of those things too. Like if you're in a toxic relationship, you have to get yourself out of that toxicity. And you're doing that. You're doing what's right for your kids and what's right for yourself. So even though it's a struggle and it's tough, it's a rough time for you, you're finding your way to get through it. And I think at the end of the day, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I would say just keep on keeping on and just, keep providing for yourself and your kid.
That is so exhausting, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not saying it's not, but anything in life is exhausting. I mean, we exhaust ourselves, period, as human beings. But like I said, it's one of those things where again, the exhaustion at the end of the day, working and standing on your grind is worth it. Like again, you're talking about what you do in your personal life, what you're doing in the catfighting world, modeling world. I mean, I saw you opened up an OnlyFans, man. So you're starting to find your way. You're going here, you're going there, you're finding your directions. And I mean, you opened up the OnlyFans, and you've admitted on social media that you suck at OnlyFans, which I thought
I
was.
do. No, it's so bad. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, it's like me going into a makeup store. Like, I know how to wear makeup, the basics, but I don't know how to really wear makeup. And you see those girls that really know how to wear makeup. Like, they transform themselves into a whole other fucking person. I'm not that person. I still look the fucking same, just not like a zombie.
Well,
So,
first and foremost, Angelina, I look at it from a stance. First of all, you look great. You do absolutely fabulous. I'll reiterate that point on the show here. But god dang, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say you're boring on OnlyFans. You have some nice pics. You do a lot of great content. So I wouldn't worry about that. You're still looking good.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're very welcome. But no, it's one of those things like I promote beauty, strength, and dominance because it's very true. And we see a lot of great women, doesn't matter shape, size, or whatever. And we talk about you and your tininess and your shortness. You know what I'm saying? Darius will make fun of you till the day you die, which is hilarious. And I love Darius to death. But it's one of those things where it's like, so what? You're short, you're cute, you're hobbity. Bam, here's my OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Just boom. You know what I'm saying? You're just coming out the woodwork. Let them know. Let them know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that you suck. I would say that you're letting them know. You're letting them know.
I'm trying. That's for sure. I've asked Mutiny a lot of questions. She's been my saving grace in that department. And this poor woman, I'm like, I've asked her so many questions. We've messaged so many times back and forth because I'm like, I don't understand like the payment stuff. Like a lot of that stuff, I really needed help with that because I'm like, I don't understand some of the things on there. So like once I'm, you know, completely used to it, I'll probably know a whole lot more of how to use it and work it. But right now, I just yeah. Here's a picture of me naked. Enjoy.
The bluntness. The bluntness. I like that. It's a picture of me naked and joy. Don't even need to like have a funny little caption or anything. Just blunt right out there. Here's
Yeah.
me naked.
Here you go.
Oh my goodness. But no, for first and foremost, quality photos, beautiful imagery, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And I say that in the most politeful sincerity and respectful way possible there, Miss Angelina Knight. But no, man, I mean, there's different forms of sexiness, and it shows throughout your work and through your overall imagery. So, I mean, you still got that sex appeal about you that people gravitate and are drawn to. So, I mean, you should be proud of yourself doing your thing. You should.
um,
You should. should. No, I mean, I mean, you're like, but still, you should be proud of yourself, man. You got a lot of great photos, and you got a lot of people that want to, see what you're all about, see what Angelina Night is all about. You know what I'm saying? So that grows your fan base and grows people towards you. So I mean, it's a plus. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't get creepers after you, that's a negative. There's the plus of people that really want to support you. You know?
I actually haven't had any creepers, so
Thank God.
thank God for that. I'll knock on some wood real quick. But no, so far people, I feel really bad because it's like the last resort on my phone, so I'm not completely, all over it right now. So people message me, I feel bad. I'll see it like 2 days later. I'm like, shit, I'm like, sorry. But no, I'm hoping now, like, since I'll be able to start traveling again, I can get, at least some good content and some good pictures with people. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh no,
Now,
absolutely. And I mean, yes, I saw you're doing some customs and stuff. Get yourself on the custom train, if you will. So I mean, there's a lot of great content yet to create. You know.
I've already seen that stuff. So
Yes. I mean, I'll be honest with you, from your tweets and everything that you were thinking about doing custom wise, man, I got to say, I dig it, man. You're putting out the creative juices flowing through social media and just in general, man. You got a lot of content people want to see.
I hope so. I have a lot of ideas. It's just the timing
Yes.
and like the help because a lot of people want me to um, do stuff that involves other people. And I'm like, I don't have any friends. Like, I don't have anybody to do this stuff with me. So I'm, I was interested in starting like doing the wedgie stuff. Like that's, I can do that by myself. I don't need somebody to do that, which, if someone else was here to do it, it'd probably sell better. But I'm like, right now, I'm like a one man show.
I was about to say self wedgie custom. That would be a new one. I mean, nobody's really done self wedgies. I mean, if you just want to give yourself a wedgie on,
Yeah.
oh my,
Yeah. I mean, I'd make it cute and sexy. I'd do something to it, but I'm like, if you want to see, I'll do something. I'll probably do like a little teaser. Like, if you like this, then I will show you some more. But if not, then I'm not embarrassing myself.
and first and foremost, I will say this: stop it with you have no friends. Please stop it. There's a lot of people that definitely would want to be your friend, man. I just the way that you said that, man. Don't be like that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great people that want to work with you. So, like I said, keep your head up, man.
Oh, I have a lot of out of state friends.
Oh,
There's nobody in Ohio. Like, I am literally the biggest loner you will ever meet.
hey, I'll be honest with you. That sometimes that's not a bad thing because as someone who has also kept to himself through high school and college and just in general, man, it's one of those things where it's just like sometimes you got to keep to yourself because you keep yourself sane if you're gonna be around all that drama, you know. So I get it.
I I have like, my neighbor that I talk to every now and then, but as far as like planning like to hang out with people, yeah, I don't have anybody here in Ohio to do that with.
Well, I look at it from a stance too. Like, I mean, when we go on this thing that we call life and then this journey, we're going to meet a lot of great people that bring a lot of light into our lives. So, like I said, when it comes to you're in Ohio or what have you, man, just like I said, just really keep doing what you're doing on that front because you got this. You know what I'm saying?
I like being, I mean, I've always preferred to be alone. Like you said, I've always been um
Well, I mean, they
like,
call it like an
yeah, a
out,
loner.
but it's not
Yeah.
like outcast stuff. It's one of those things where some people just like to keep them themselves, and it's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes you have the perception, and we see that through high school and everyday life, that people think that you're a dickhead or what have you. And I'm like, no, it's just I like to have the time to myself. I like to focus on me, my family, just be around my little circle. It doesn't mean you're a dick. I mean, if you socialize and say hi, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're being jerks. It's just sometimes we got to to ourselves. It's pretty simple.
Sometimes I'm a dick.
That's okay. Sometimes we got to be a dick to people that are dicks. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they deserve it. Sometimes it's unwarranted. But sometimes it happens.
No, in public, because I have really, really bad social anxiety. If I have
Okay.
to go to the grocery store or whatever, I literally try to avoid eye contact with anybody at all costs. Like I just get in and get out. And I remember one time I went into the store to get my son a box. He was like 2 at the time. This was a couple years ago. But I walked in. I was having a really, really bad, like I didn't even want to leave my house kind of day. But my kid needed diapers and wipes. So I was like, shit. So I walked in the store and I just did the self checkout. And of course, of all days, this guy comes up behind me and he is just talking and talking and talking and just telling me like how he's so glad his kids are out of diapers, and I'm like, good for you, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't care about your kids. Like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm just nodding to you at this point, like, like, yep, yeah, yeah, that's true. Like, like one of those things. And he just kept talking. I'm like, okay, I gotta ignore him at this point. And I, I, I was sweating profusely. It was really bad. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about your kids. I don't care. I just want to get my shit and get out. And nope, he was just, I don't know what he was trying to prove. Like, like he still got it or whatever, because he wasn't like a bad looking dude. But even if you're hot as fuck, I don't want to talk to you. Like,
I mean, it's one of those things where people do tend to talk over and over again. It's just like, all right, shut up. So, and I mean, I get it. Like, you don't want to be rude, but just like, all right, man, that's enough. And then you got to just walk away, and you just got to like, it's the thing. It's the common nod. But yeah, it's common courtesy. But at the end of the day, it's just like, shut the fuck up. So I get it. I've been in a lot of those situations too, where people want to give you their life story, and it's like, okay, I mean, I got to get going, but thanks. You know?
yep.
Oh my God.
So,
And no, it's
yeah.
people. I'll be honest with you. With the social anxiety stuff, it does go with a lot of people, man. As someone who is very shy in his own right, yourself. But sometimes it goes through, you got to do what you got to do. Like I do this stuff in front of the microphone, but I'll probably be honest with you, probably outside of this, probably one of the most quieted, loner type of cats you'll ever meet. But it's one of those things where when you could turn it on, you could turn it on. And I mean, that's just common courtesy in people in general.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like a straight up cunt. Like, I don't look at you and just like glare at you. I mean, I'll say hi and, wave or smile or something. But yeah, usually a lot of people can tell like when I don't feel like talking, which those people are godsends, because they like, oh, she's just nodding, she doesn't want to talk. But then there's people that just are so fucking clueless, and they're like, so are those two kids yours? I'm like, no, I fucking found them outside. Like, are you kidding me? And it, the one comment I always get, and I literally mean always get when I'm out, like, oh, are those two kids yours?
What? Oh
Who the
my.
fuck else would they be? Because I don't look like I'm old enough to have kids. And I'm like, yeah, they're mine. They're like, oh my god, you look so young. I'm like, yeah, I know. Shut up. I got a baby face. Wah. Like, yeah, please sing me a different song.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, and like I said, you have that very type of like young girl vibes. But I mean, it's not. I understand, when you see someone with a bow in their hair, and it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm sure you've heard this pretty much all your life. But it's one of the things. It's like, okay, all right, can we stop? I'm a grown ass woman. I'm 29 years old, so I mean, I
Yeah.
get it. I'll be honest with
Yeah.
you. When I started working, someone thought I was like 16. I'm like, I have a beard. I'm in my mid 20s. Like, come on, like, hello. I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah. In the wintertime, it's really bad because you can't see my tattoos. And, I don't wear makeup to begin with. So it's horrible in the wintertime, especially, because I do have social anxiety. I don't go anywhere by myself. I'm always usually with my mom. So I can't tell you how many times I get, oh, you enjoying your winter break? And I'm like, what winter break? Like, oh, aren't you in school? I'm like, no. Like, you're not in school. I'm like, no, I'm like 30. They're like, oh my, it's always the same fucking, oh my god. Like, my mom to this day swears she's gonna buy me like this hat and a hoodie and a purse that says I'm not fucking 12.
That I bet you would rock the shit out of those shirts.
Oh, I would, yeah. Because she gets pissed off too. She's like, oh my god, no. Because I'll have my kids with me. Like, I'm not their fucking mom. I'm the grandma. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah. So she gets tired of it too. But it's just depending on how my day's already going, and then you have that dumbass person who wants to talk to you and ask stupid questions. Is usually when I just give like the glare and the blank stare, and I give them that look like, please, shut the fuck up.
So pretty much what you're saying is you're now, like you put it before, like you're not a cunt. You're not an upfront cunt, but sometimes, I may stare at you very evilly and give you the glaze of death, the glare of death, if you come at me wrong. I like that. I like your
Yeah,
style. That.
yeah. And it's It's not even a real glare because I don't even look fucking intimidating. I just look like I'm constipated or something. So, like,
Wait a minute.
even then, like, I don't look scary.
Okay, first and foremost, I've seen you glare, and I've heard you talk the trash, man, and I've just seen you like jumping on everybody like a spider monkey, like your Texas Ranger in Talladega Nights. You got the, you're a Spitfire, man. Like we talked about this, you got that Spitfire about you, man. I don't want to grab you. I don't want to scrap with you. You know what I'm saying? You get kind of ready to scrap. You, like I said, you got that face that's so cute, but then it's just like, man, you're ready to scrap. That's what it is.
It could be dangerous.
You can.
That's what my other friend says. I have a dangerous look.
It is. It is though. I mean, but that also has helped you in many of your cat fights and wanting to learn and box and kick and strike and just ready to fuck a person's world up. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not don't even wear like, I'm not fucking 12. Just wear like a shirt and a hat that says fuck a person's world up or fuck a man's world up, fuck a woman's world up. That's another thing you can rock. That could be an old new clothing apparel. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm not fucking 12, fucking people up,
I'm all for anything that has the word fuck in it. So,
Hey, all right. So going back to pop culture here, from the social anxiety standpoint, I will say this: as someone who has gone through mental health, as we all have had through our years and our teen years, if you will, one of the things that always helps you cope, and I'm sure it's helped cope with you, has been music. Now, me, I'm a very eclectic soul. We talked about our NSYNC and our Backstreet Boys and our On the Mic with Mike interview series there, but I will say this: what type of music is playing in your playlist, if you will, because going through some of the rough times, music is always that outlet, or if some people will have that outlet from a TV standpoint or just in general. What's on your playlist, man?
um, well, nothing in pop culture because I hate today's music.
Oh,
Um,
amen to that. Okay, don't
yeah,
mean to cut you off, but god dang, man, what is up with today's music? I mean, we're both 29. We're both 90s babies. We graduated the same year. I just turned 29. You're gonna be 30. Which, by the way, I cannot believe that we're almost 30. Before I even get to that, I can't believe we're almost 30. God dang, man, we're talking here, and I can't believe like we're about to hit the big 3-0, man.
yeah. Don't remind me.
But okay, now besides hitting the big 3-0, as we put it there so eloquently, when it when it comes to today's music, I mostly, when it comes to the radio vibes, I kind of just go to like the AM or FM or satellite radio, more satellite radio, because whatever's on the radio today, I can't deal with it. I don't know if it's just like I said, we're getting older, but it's just like give me some of the 80s, 90s, hell, even the 70s or early 2000s, because I don't know what the fuck is on today's radio.
I I love jazz music, and I don't know any jazz players or any songs, like any name of the songs, but I could listen to jazz music all day long, or um, like serial killer music, like opera.
Okay, you see, that's not a bad mix. And I will say this:
Yeah,
you give me a little jazz. You know what I'm saying? Give you a little BB King sings the blues. Just give me some of that jazz, that playing the trumpet, that little Bill Ortiz, that bum, bum, ba-dam, the trumpet, or like you said
yeah,
with opera. There's so many great operas. Phantom of the Opera. There's Wagner. There's so many classical type of music that also have that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do the whole thing, but there's my little sample. So you could like be rocking out to like Symphony Number 9 by Beethoven, and you would be fine with it.
yeah. It's very. I don't like the upbeat jazz music. I like the calm, like the Christmas music jazz. If that makes sense.
Oh yes, where it's just instrumental and it's just like when we're
Yeah,
instrumental version of this Christmas. Yeah, yep, I get you.
yeah. And then, like I said, opera. I've always loved it since I was little. Like I said, I don't hardly know. I mean, I know like the basics, but I don't know what. I think it's because like maybe I have sensory issues because there is just some shit that just irks me, and I'm like I can't listen to this shit. Like my nerves are shot. So like I'll usually turn to like my jazz or opera. I usually just read. I like to read a lot.
Okay, now I will say this: when you talk about jazz and opera, like you were talking about, like Christmas time, once dun 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 dun, I could see you being very calm and grooving out to that, which I appreciate. Oh, there's some things that really calm the soul, and what's really good for the soul.
Yeah.
And the thing with the reading too is, I mean, I found what I was going through because I was in a bad depression, and we've talked about this, very suicidal. But I've come out of that place where I'll be honest with you, if you're in that type of place, talk to somebody, do what you need to do. But god dang, man, you said something that's very pivotal right there. Reading. When you read a good book, or you just start to focus and really get into a book or what have you, it really does help because you get to stimulate the mind and really just get involved, and it's very calming.
I've loved reading since I was. Mm, I got into reading and photography when I was around 9, so I've loved it since then.
All right, now what kind of books are you into? You more like mystery books, or you kind of into like what kind of books are you into?
I love horror books, and then I really love poetry. Like, I don't know what it is, but poetry just really, I don't know. Like, I could, it's so weird because you know what I look like. I listen to like heavy metal and Rob Zombie. I love Rob Zombie to fucking death. And then you'll see me like talk about poetry. Like, I'm just, I'm all kinds of stuff. So I um, love poems, and then I love horror books. So I mean, I'm interested in mainly those two things.
So one minute you'll be like blue skies, stars in the sky, like some like poetry like that that's very like beautiful, and then you're just gonna be like rocking out to Rob Zombie, never gonna stop me,
Yep.
never gonna stop. That's a
Pretty
nice mix.
much.
That's a nice mix, though. I mean, Rob Zombie. All right, I'm gonna ask you, Rob Zombie music, or what about his Halloween, his adaptation, if you will, of the Halloween movies? You're a fan of the Halloween movies of Rob Zombie?
Yeah, absolutely. When he made when he made his first one, um, I was really excited when he was the producer of that. So I was like, every movie that he made, I'm like, I have to watch.
See, here's the thing too, and I like Rob Zombie. I was a little cautious at first because growing up, like the '80s Halloween, and then I'll be honest with you, the only one I was not the biggest fan of was Halloween Resurrection in '02. That was the one where Busta Rhymes was in it, and you had all
Oh
that.
my god, yeah,
See, see, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, like
yeah.
how shitty was that? That was just the shits. Oh,
I'm just confused why they bothered to make that.
I have no idea. Like I said, you go from the great ones from the '80s and '90s, and then you get friggin' Halloween Resurrection. It's just like no. Again, that was the early 2000s. I mean, there was some crappy shit in the early 2000s, but yeah, that takes the candle, or one of the candles, if you will, from crappy ass movies. And I mean, then you get to Rob Zombie's version. I'll be honest, I was very happy that they brought back Danielle Harris because she did an amazing job in it as well.
Mm-hmm. My favorite one was trying to think what year it came out in. I want to say that was like 7 or 8.
Whew.
It was the
Yes.
one with Jamie Lee, like the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, where she had really, really short brown hair.
Ah, yes, that was I think that was like what, like 3 or 4 in the '90s. Yeah, that's going towards like late '90s. Yep.
Yeah, that was probably the one that I was kind of scared of. Um, because I was little. The one scene from that movie when she like was holding that dude in the elevator and he was like chasing her. I was like, oh my god, I was scared to go in elevators for a really long time.
Hey, it's like when people see the Final Destination movies and you don't want to go near like a roller coaster or an airplane for a long time because of what happened. Yep. You a fan of that
I
series as well? No.
Oh yeah, I did love those movies. But I never loved roller coasters, so I didn't have a problem with that.
Hey, I did not either. I love me some roller coasters too. And I'll be honest, it's one of those things like me, like growing up as a Disney kid, like what's his face? Ryan Merriman was in Halloween 3. Remember Ryan Merriman? He was in like Smart House and the Luck of the Irish back in the day on Disney. Like I remember him being in that, and that just made me smile because as a kid watching the Disney Channel, seeing someone you used to watch on the DComs, that made me smile.
Yeah, the one thing that made me scared to do is go tanning.
Oh my God! Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Jennings. Oh,
And ironically enough, I had just gotten a tanning package the year that movie came out. Like my parents allowed me to get a tanning package, and I was going tanning. I maybe went like 4 or 5 times, and then I watched that movie, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going. I didn't go tanning. I told my mom, it's like I will pay you back, but I'm not going tanning. She's like, are you fucking kidding? I was like, Mom, watch this movie. She's like, I'm not watching that shit. I'm like, exactly. So I'm not going tanning for a while.
oh my God.
And I didn't go tanning again until like my senior prom. So
Okay. So, I mean, the movies do have an effect on you. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to,
yeah.
Well, the racetrack, like the one in the 3D version, I mean that was what it was. But yeah, no, like when you're going like tanning and you're sitting down, or all right, let me ask you, did you do the stand up tanning or did you do like just sitting down
No,
and
the laying down, like
laying down?
yeah. So I was kind of traumatized. I'm like, I fuck tanning. It ruins your skin anyway, and I don't know.
Oh my
And I
goodness,
don't need it.
I don't need it. By the way, I had to refresh my memory as we were talking about it. There was the Halloween. It was the Curse of Michael Myers from the '90s. Yes, that or the Revenge of Michael Myers. One of those. But yeah, it was one of those back in like the late '80s, early '90s. You're right. Now that it was coming back to me as soon as you were talking about that scene, so I just had to clarify what we were talking about. So yeah, Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers.
Yes, that one scene. They were in an elevator, right? Or was it like a shack thing?
I think it was the elevator. I think you may be right on that.
Okay, because I didn't know if it was the elevator, like those old school like rope elevators where she had to like pull them up.
So kind of like in the episode of Boy Meets World where he's shoving everybody down the elevator shaft.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, nope, I'm good on that.
So getting scared of tanning aside with the Final Destination, did you have like a favorite one? Because there's the airplane, there's the tanning and the roller coaster, there's the racetrack, there's like a bridge in one of them. Like, I mean, which one was like your favorite one?
Um, I wouldn't say I had a favorite, but the one that didn't phase me, um, was probably the last one they made with the bridge.
Yeah, that was the bridge one. Yep.
Because the first two were like, I mean, of course, any of that shit can happen, but the first two are more so like, you can die on a roller coaster, you can die on an airplane.
Mhm.
Definitely a tanning bed. I mean, not hopefully not ever that fucking way, but you know, um, and then the fucking lumber on the truck.
Yeah,
I do not drive. Yep, to this day, if I see one of those trucks, I'm like, I'm not driving behind it.
that's pretty much everybody's like instinct when you're behind, like, or even like the tow trucks where they have all the cars on them. It's like, no, you know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
I do not drive behind semis. Like when
Yeah.
it comes to like that kind of shit, like open semi. But if it's just like a regular, I'm like whatever. But if there's shit on that semi that could fall off and decapitate me, I'm good. I'm not driving behind it.
No, no decapitation for you is pretty much what you're saying.
No, no, I'm good.
Oh my goodness. Now, going back to music for a second, I will say this. Like we were talking about jazz and opera and poetry, you very complex but lovely human being. I gotta say that's a mixture right there. And I love that about you. But no, I also look at it from a stance to like the lyrics also as well that go with the songs are very, calming and it tells a story like with many things. And I'll relay this to catfighting. Like it's telling a story with your body. It's an art form. Everything about music is really an art form. And I gotta say, man, a lot of great music that came from the '80s and '90s was in the pop genre and the R&B genre and the rock genre. Everybody had a story to tell. That's why I think a lot of us really, gravitate more towards that music than what we have now. Because everything now is just kind of like, okay, booty shaking, earth quaking, and then panties dropping, ain't no stopping. But it's like, all right, let's give a little more substance to it, you know?
I've never, I was never a huge fan of rap anyway. It gave me a headache. But like when
Really?
I would go to like, yeah, I fucking hate rap. It's just now like the pop songs like that we used to dance to like in middle school, like the old stuff. I'll still sing to that, but as far as like just rap music in general, it's like country music. I fucking hate country music.
So you mean to tell me you don't want to hear somebody talk about they done shot my dog and lover, lover, you won't treat me no good no more, and I got friends in the whole place is achy breaky heart? No, none of that.
Now I do love the '90s country
Oh, okay.
before it turned to shit, but
So
as
you were about achy breaky heart, Billy Ray Cyrus with his mullet.
kind of I yeah, he was okay. As
Okay.
much as I love older men, he was not that appealing to me. I just now Patrick Swayze and his mullet. I was all about that, but no,
Well, first
Billy
and
Ray Cyrus was not.
God rest his soul, Patrick Swayze, one of the greatest
Yes,
actors ever. My mom still has the poster of him as Johnny Castle in Dirty Dancing. One of the most amazing actors and just of all time. God rest his soul. And he also had She's Like the Wind. I mean, he had She's Like the Wind. That was a good.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I loved. Okay, I first saw Ghost. I think I was 5 or 6 years old,
Okay.
and I told my mom I was like, "Who is that?" She's like, Patrick Swayze. I was like, how old is he? She's like, he's too old for you. I'm like, well, I love him.
Well, I love.
So, yeah, Patrick Swayze was my very first old man, quote, favorite actor. And then John Cena was my favorite first wrestling crush. So,
All right. Okay. See, that's a 180, but I get it. You know, Patrick Swayze from the accent,
yeah,
then John Cena. Okay, first and foremost, if you're a girl who didn't have a crush on John Cena in like the early mid to
yeah, got a point there. But no, it was a really bad obsession. I had action figures of him and calendars and yep.
well, okay, since you don't like rap, John Cena had a rap CD.
God, I know, and it was awful.
Okay, I will tell you. Okay, now have you ever gotten a chance to meet John Cena at like a signing or anything? Because he has done a lot of signings in Ohio and a lot of places. Have you ever gotten the chance to meet John Cena?
No, I have not. And every one of my friends says if I met John Cena, it's probably, I'd probably make him fall in love with me, and then he wouldn't be able to go back to wherever he was from because that's how badly I was obsessed with him. I was like, I would literally probably look into his soul, like you're gonna marry me.
Well, as they say, the eyes are the window to the soul, Miss Angelina Knight, and you have a
Yeah.
very pure and complex soul, so I don't doubt that in the slightest. But no, I mean, so you pretty much are saying you would make John Cena move out of West Newbury, Massachusetts, baby, and he just come right into your arms.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, I'll be honest. So the one time I did meet John Cena, still have the photo to this day, was when the rap CD came out. So I have his CD signed. It was John Cena and the Trademark, who was his cousin, Mark Predka. So they had like a CD, as we talked about the You Can't See Me Trademark album. So him and his cousin laying down them rhymes on that CD. Don't fuck with John Cena. I'm a bad, bad man. Doing the music video like it's the A Team. Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? No.
Hey, well, that was what got him over in WWE. Like when he started rapping, and then we had the Chain Gang, and then we have what we have now with John Cena: the hustle, loyalty, respect, and the actor that is John Cena. So, I mean, you looking forward to seeing Fast Nine?
I kind of stopped after the third one.
See, okay, all right. See, now you're gonna bring this here, and this is why I love you. So I was very sporadic with it as well because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, fast cars. Here's a crash. Like I get the point of this, but I
Yeah.
saw the one with the Rock. I saw the first two, and then I went to like five, and then I saw whatever the last one was, and then I'm like, okay, now John Cena's Vin Diesel's brother. All right, here we are.
I mean, I might see it just because he's in there, but I'm not like, if I don't see it, I'm not going to be sad. Because yeah, with movies like that, they just need to fucking stop after the second or third one.
Well, like that's the problem is we keep doing the same movie over and over again. They complain about it with Marvel. They complain about it with a lot of stuff. It's like, all right, we get the point.
Okay, now Marvel, they
Yeah.
can make them every chance they get, but Loki has to be in them. That's the only time I will watch them.
You were very big in the Loki because you did put on Twitter that, don't bug me, you got my Loki.
Yes.
I know you're
Yep.
into that right now.
Yep, when he first appeared in the first Thor movie. Now, I've always been a Chris Hemsworth fan. Like, I've always loved him. Um, big arms, big, just big. So I was always a fan of him. So when he made Thor, I was like, holy fuck, like, he's even hotter, in the fucking armor suit. And then Loki came out, like, around the corner, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And I'm like, well, shit. So, I mean, I still, like, I had my obsession with Thor, and I was like, Loki's pretty cute. And then I looked more into him, and, like, it was Tom Hiddleston. I was like, okay, he's kind of cute. And then I saw him in the other Thor, and I'm like, oh my god. So 2012, I was like, oh my fucking god. Like, Thor and Loki, Thor and Loki, Thor and Loki. Then they made another fucking Thor, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I was in fucking, like, Thor and Loki heaven. And then I find out that they're making a Loki series, and I lost my ever fucking mind. I was like, oh my god. Nobody bother me. Like, nobody. It's bad. It it is worse than my John Cena obsession because it's just, I've loved these men, well, these fictional characters since 2011, 2012. So I'm like, it's 2021 now. Like I still need therapy. Like they're still hot and they're still making like really good movies. I'm like, yeah, I'm screwed.
Hey man, I'll be with your therapy and keeping your off of these men. Okay, so great series. I agree.
Yeah.
It's really good, and that's the thing when it comes to Marvel and the Thor movies. Like you said, you can't get enough of them, but that'll be like the common thing. Like we said, like they keep making it with Marvel. Some Marvel, yes, but when it comes to like Thor, you know what it is too. Like I like the superhero movies, but sometimes I'm just like, Loki and Thor. I will agree with you. You can't go wrong with, but there are some that it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Like Captain America. Like
Thank you,
yeah, no.
thank you.
He just needs one movie and that's it.
Thank you, because Captain America is at the top of my list of one where it's just like no, so I concur with you on that.
Yeah, no. My order of my Marvel men are Thor, Loki, Iron Man.
Okay,
And that's it.
good
Everyone
choice.
else is just like meh.
All right, now I will say this when it comes to like the superhero movies where we've had like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. I will say this about Spider-Man. People crap on Spider-Man 3, but once we got after Tobey Maguire, it was kind of like because we had Eduardo from the Social Network and the Amazing Spider-Man, all that. I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
go ahead. So you agree with me? The Tobey Maguire one's the
Yeah.
best. Thank you.
The Toby, yes, they. Now I love Tom Holland. Like he's a cute little kid. Like I call him a kid because I'm into older men, so he's a little kid to me. But no, he's a cute kid, and I love the movies that he's been in. I love his movies, but Toby Maguire, like you can't. Toby Maguire is Spider Man, not Tom Holland. So that's where I draw the line when it
Yeah,
comes to Spider Man.
it's like okay, so like I said, people crap on Spider-Man 3. I liked Spider-Man 3. Like Spider-Man 2 was a great, oh, here Mary Jane, here I am, I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1 started it all off. But it's like it
Mm-hmm.
was a great like series from 1 to 2 to 3. It was great storytelling, but then once we get into the later ones, it's just like no. You know what I'm saying? It's
No.
like you stop. It's like Home Alone when they put like Alex D. Linz in the third one, and then you had
Oh
the
my God, I
see
know.
like it's
Yeah,
Macaulay Culkin. When you think of Home Alone, it's Macaulay Culkin, not Alex D.
yeah.
Linz and the fourth one and all that crap. Ugh.
And my biggest pet peeve is when they do make movies like that and they make a second one. If you're going to make a fucking third or fourth one, keep the fucking original cast members in there. And if you can't, if they don't want to, oblige, then don't fucking make it.
They've done like a lot of oh my god, what was it? The direct to DVD sequels. I remember like do you remember the Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart and that whole cast?
I do know that movie, but I only saw it like a handful of times.
Okay. So the butterfly effect that they did with Ashton Kutcher, where he's going back in time to try to fix his past and everything. He has all these blackouts in the journal. So they did a butterfly effect too on direct to DVD, completely different to what the first one was. And I'm like, why are we changing this? Like, and it made no sense. It's like when you had the Lost Boys. Like everybody loves the Lost Boys, right? Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. So you have that original cast. Corey Haim unfortunately passes away, so they have him in one effing part in Lost Boys, the second one, which was the tribe or one of them. So he's at the end. He's a vampire, and this is right before he dies. So you only see him in that one scene, and it's all about the Frog Brothers. It's like the Frog Brothers are not the main consensus of the Lost Boys. Yes, they're the vampire hunters, but it's not all about the Frog Brothers. So it kind of like ruined it after like the second and third one because you can't outbeat what we saw in the '80s.
No. The only good thing about when you make new movies, like with Halloween and Freddy, like when they do like the updated versions, those are okay because they're usually a lot more gory. So like I can't really complain like when they remake those, but just like like the classics, like Home Alone and then Spider Man, like just leave it alone for God's sake.
That's like for me, and I'll make the Disney Channel the DComs. Like Halloween Town is very iconic and synonymous with Halloween, and is very much a Disney Channel original movie cult favorite, right? So you start
Mm-hmm.
from Halloween, then the Halloween 2 Calabar's Revenge, Halloween Town High, and then you get to the fourth one, Return to Halloween Town, and there's no Kimberly J. Brown, it's Sarah Paxton, and it absolutely ruins the damn series.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're not alone on that. Trust me, I get so mad when they make like when they make the same movie and it's different cast. I'm like, nope, it's not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And they never are. They always fucking suck.
That's the thing too, like, and just in general, man. Like, they redo a lot of songs, they redo movies, and it's just like, leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. That's the problem. Man. Nobody can leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Got me singing like Michael Jackson here. Just leave it alone. But yeah, no, it's. I agree with you 100%. So I totally get it. And also from the Netflix side of things, there are some good stuff on Netflix for people to Netflix and chill, if you will, to make that rhyme there. Like, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff going on with Netflix. I've seen a lot of the crime shows. I've seen a lot of, oh my God, what was the last one that they had with, there's Black Mirror. There's the one where they were talking about, like the haunting of Bly Manor and all that good stuff. Like, there's a lot of
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
Did you see that?
Yep.
How?
I actually told a friend of mine to watch it, and he's like, "What is it?" I was like, "Just watch it."
Just watch
And
it.
he's like, "I can't wait for the second season." I'm like, "I fucking told you, bitch."
Here's the thing, like it starts to like make sense until like what, like episode 4, maybe 5. It starts like the pieces get put together, but
Oh
it's a
god, it was so slow. It was
right.
so fucking slow. It took everything in me to keep going. I'm like, and I love this kind of shit. I'm like, if something doesn't fucking happen, I'm going to bed. And people just kept telling me, just trust me, just trust me. And then finally, when her fucking head pops in the middle of the car, then it kind of got interesting. I'm like, oh, well, finally, a fucking jump scare.
See, I like your style with the jump scare. Then a fucking head pops in the middle of the car. I like the way you worded
Oh
that.
my god, I definitely jumped because they're just talking and then you see her fucking neck pop out. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
finally. After I contained myself and
Well,
I'm
it's
like, yep,
it's the story of like they're at, she's at Bly Manor. She's helping out these kids, and then it talks about their tortured souls. It goes from the past and then to the present, then back to the past and back to the present.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
we're
I know. I couldn't keep up. I'm like, what the fuck am I even watching?
exactly, and but at the end of the day, it was worth it because it goes from like horror and then it turns into like a love story kind of when we get towards the end of it, and then you put it all together and it's like, all right, it
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, and it was like actually really sad too. So
Ugh, you cry because she's just. I'm not to spoil it for everybody who hasn't seen it, but you should definitely see it. She's at the door. She's with the chair, and you just. Oh, you feel for
yeah,
her. You feel for her.
yeah, yeah. And I can't say I've been in that position, but I've been in that position, like mentally. So yeah.
Oh my goodness! But yes, that's some of the good stuff that you can check out on Netflix. And I got to say, besides Netflix, you on that Disney Plus vibes, or are you still more going towards Netflix?
I'm always on Disney Plus. I mean, now of course since Loki's on there every Wednesday, but I was always on Disney Plus even before that.
Ugh, see, we got some good stuff, man. If people have not seen like the old school shows, like the famous Jet Jackson and Lizzie McGuire and all that good stuff, it's on there because it's a plus. Because whatever we
Yep.
got on Disney Channel now, it's just I can't. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh
can't.
fuck the new. I like I said, I hate this generation so bad.
You see, people will classify us. What are we? The millennials, and then what's it? The Gen
Yeah,
Z or Gen X? Gen Z. Gen Z.
Gen Z. Yeah, Gen X is above or no, they're below the Boomers. Is that what they're called?
The boomers. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, this Gen Z slash. We'll do the slash. Gen Z slash. I'm putting the slash as we're doing talking about it. Boomers. Oh my god, I can't because they don't get it. They don't get it.
I can't. I want to kick them in the face so much sometimes.
Yeah, I like your style. Tag team, stomp them out. Stomp them out. All right. No, but
No, because literally my little brother, well, he's not one. He's still little. He's my baby brother. Like they're always going to be your babies. But my baby brother just graduated high school, right?
God bless.
Um, yes, and he will actually be in the Marines in August. So we are freaking out a little bit. But no, him and my little sister are part of this so-called Gen Z bullshit. And half of the stuff that they say to me, I swear to God, I look at them like they've got 12 heads. And they're like, what? And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? They're like, do you not know what this means? I'm like, no, because I'm not fucking stupid. Like, use your words. Like, use English.
Because I'm
There's
a
this thing going around like where they're saying sheesh or something. Like, what the fuck is that?
sheesh, like sheesh, like instead of shit, just sheesh. Like what? Okay, I could be looking at this wrong. Like sheesh, 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 like
Yes,
that.
and they do like a fucking gunpoint at their elbow or something.
What? I,
Yeah,
I
I don't. I want to Spartan kick him. Like I'm like, just you need to get away from me.
just talk to me normally.
Yeah, and then my little sister, the other day, she was like, "This this popcorn or this food is bussin'. I'm like, I swear to God, you say that one more time, I'm gonna bust you in your fucking mouth.
Is it like bust in, like bustin, or bus in, like bussin? Bussin.
B like bussin, like it's bussin'. I'm like, you say that again, I'm gonna bust you in your fucking mouth.
I think
Like,
it's Cardi B or one of these fucking singers that has that song out where you hear bussin', and it's a TikTok thing because that song is constantly on TikTok, and we're in the generation of TikTok.
yeah, TikTok's fine. I
It
have
is.
TikTok. I'm not even ashamed to say I have a TikTok. I fucking make TikToks. But no, like when it comes to words in English, you're going to talk to me with proper English, not like you have to say everything grammar. I'm not the fucking grammar police, but don't say bussin' to me, or I'll bust you in your fucking mouth. Like, don't say that. I looked at her like, what the fuck did you just say? Like it's bussin'. Like again, English. What the fuck did you just say to me? Like,
Well,
Sissy, it's just a word. Like, yeah, what fucking word?
well,
What are
it's
you even saying?
well, like when they say like it's lit, like why can't you just say like it's it's good or
Oh
it's
my
fucking
god.
lit, fire? Or you know what the other thing too is they also say now it's what I hate this. Like they say it's lit or they say it's fire. Or why can't we just say, all right, I've always said this, the spilling the tea, let's spill the tea if you will. I'm like, just say let's gossip or let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Let's spill the tea. I don't know. If that's like a girl thing, I don't, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I don't say that shit.
See? Okay, I thought I was the only one because I'm like, why can't you just say gossip? Like, why can't you just say let's talk about it? Like,
I
spill.
don't say a lot of shit because half of it I don't even know
I don't
that
understand.
it's a real saying. Like I'm just as confused as you are. And that's when I know I'm getting old because I fucking hate teenagers. I just want to punch them all in the face.
Well, again, we're in the technology era where everybody's on their fucking phones and nobody talks to anybody anymore, like face to face. So
No, I tell my mom all the time I'm gonna be that old lady or that old man in his yard just
hey
yelling
kids,
at
get
his
off my
kids.
lawn. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like that now, and I'm like I might need to see a therapist because kids these days I just want to punch them in the face.
Hey, we're both. I'm an angry young man, angry young woman. We'll tag team. That's why, like I say, you and I are friends and we gravitate toward each other because we both have almost the same mentalities about how much we hate people, and we shouldn't be hating people because we're young still. But as we get older, we get to see these little shit biscuits, like fucking piss biscuits and shit, just talking shit that makes no sense. Everybody's on the goddamn phone, and it's like, talk to me like a fucking person.
And it's the disrespect too. No, like majority of these people have no respect.
Mm-hmm.
They
Young.
they don't know. Yeah, they don't hold the door open. They don't say thank you or like they don't say shit.
You know what they'll say? They'll do you know what it is? I kind of found it. It's like the grunt, the mm. It's the mm. We're the generation of the mm, the grunt. Not even a word, just the mm.
Yeah, my little sister did that once, and my mom said you have about 3 seconds to get your ass up before I you in the next week. I'm like,
We've turned into like cavemen and cave woman. The grunt, mm. Me want dinner. Mm. You know what I'm saying it's what we've turned into almost.
and I always tease my mom how soft she's getting. I'm like, if I did that shit, or if I said that shit to you, you would have thrown the fucking refrigerator at me. Like, no, get up and beat her ass. She's like, she's just going through something. I'm like, you
It's the
motherfucker.
it's the phase thing. Like they're going through a phase. Like no, just
Yeah, like
come.
every kid, you just lose. Like you just don't give a shit anymore. I'm like, well, I'm so glad I'm the oldest and I took the brunt of everything that you ever went through in your life. I appreciate that because now I get to watch my younger siblings just do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and they don't get anything.
Well, I got to say this. Here's the plus, and here's how we flip this around, Miss Angelina Knight. You're getting everything from modeling, from here's a picture of me naked, boom, here's your OnlyFans and stuff. You're getting a lot of things in the world. You know what I'm saying? Hot commodity. You know what I'm saying? Everything's raining down on you. So there's a plus. Bring it back to you, girl, with your oldest self. Here we go.
I'm like, grandma.
No, stop, your grandma. No, but I mean, here's the thing too. I mean, you're providing for your kids. You're doing what you do. You're a very strong woman for everything that we've had to hear. And first of all, it's not a sad story. I think a lot of people that listen to can relate to what you've gone through. And I've talked about my depression and my mental health. I got to say, everything in this life is real, and everything that you've gone through and still go through is real. But it's how we come out on the end of that. And I got to say, you're coming out of there like a tough cookie that you are. My very scrap, maybe going to rip some eyes out of your face, friend. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah.
That's me.
And I say that with love because, like I said, I don't want to have my eyes scratched out of my head. I've seen you fight. I've seen you fight. So, so my Netflix and chill, my pop culture, my opera singing, how about some operas? How about some poetry? Man, I got to say the uniqueness and just the overall exuberance out of you, man. That's a fun date right in itself. Let's go to the opera. Let's get some food. Hey, how about some poetry readings? You know what I'm saying? Play the freaking drums. Ah, that is a fun time all in itself, man. I am down for that. Hello.
I'm just full of surprises.
Hey, but that's what makes you you, and that's the thing a lot of people can take out of you. So again, much love on that front, Miss Angelina Knight.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, before we close this out, because we covered a lot of ground here, we got to get some pop culture. We got to talk about some real life, some stories, if you will, what really soothes our soul and what makes me want to rip out some souls. That should be the name of this podcast: Soothing Souls and Ripping Out Souls. Goddamn Gen Z and your boomers and you sons of bitches, men and women combined. Before we close this out, more fights to come, more customs. How about a wedgie? How about not? Whatever you want to do. I look forward to seeing this one woman show, but that's not a bad thing. You're independent. I want to put on some Destiny's Child right now. Throw your hands up at me, you Miss Independent Woman. Take it down to Kelly Clarkson Lane. That is you wrapped up into one, Miss Angelina Knight, and I love what you're about. So before we close this out, please promote the Twitter, the Instagram, the OnlyFans, where people can follow you. The floor is yours. Let them know.
Um, I totally just lost my train of thought. Oh my god.
Okay, we'll just put in the description. Okay, there you go. You know what you like? It's like the SpongeBob thing where it's like, just But yeah, no. Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans.
Okay. What is my name to all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I had to make a new Twitter, unfortunately. Um, so my Twitter name is Emma with 2 A's underscore Ray. And don't ask me why it's Emma, it's a middle name.
Okay.
Um, and my, what is it called? Instagram it's a mixture of me and then my modeling and then some fetish stuff. So that is Beth's BETHS underscore BOUDOIR.
Boudoir. Beth's Boudoir. I like that too, all the way, by the way. That's a great name. Beth's Boudoir. Very creative.
I can't say the last word, that's why I spelled it.
All right. All right. Now we got to do this now before I even ever wrote the OnlyFans. And this is why I just want to see this. Because the last time I had John on the mic with Mike, I had to explain what that word meant, and we had a nice giggle about it. Can you say Boudoir?
No.
You're not even going to attempt it.
It's no, it's really embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to like gouge my own eyes out when I try to say it.
Okay. Fair enough. OnlyFans. Sorry for interrupting. OnlyFans. Go ahead.
Hold on. Okay, so I had to change my name on that as well. Let me get. Okay, so it's Raya, I'm sorry, I can't even fucking spell. Raya, RAYUH, Sunshine with 2 E's. So it's like Raya, like my last name's Ray. So Raya Sunshine.
I like that. Again, Ray. Okay. All right. Okay. See, again, the marketing, the ray of sunshine. I mean, sunshine, there's a lot of sunshine about you with your vibrancy. We've discussed it. And that cute little laugh, by the way, which came back. I love your laugh. I will say that to the end of time with your little cute ass laugh. But no, with your ray of sunshine, ma'am. Yes. Again, it's an opposites attract. And a ray of sunshine, I'm going to rip your eyes out. Ray of sunshine, how about a kick? Ray of sunshine, how about a punch? Like that.
Yep, exactly.
So, Miss Angelina Knight, we will definitely do a round two of On the Mic with Mike, and I'll definitely have you come back on to talk some more pop culture, man, because we talked about some of the men that you just want to claw on and a lot of good things that really encompass your overall being, man, with your obsession. I will look into your eyes and you will marry me, John Cena. So we, so We learned a lot about what you're into, ma'am. So I will say this: continued success going forward with your OnlyFans and your cat fighting and modeling as well. Beautiful imagery. Definitely check out Miss Angelina Knight on the Twitter, the Instagram, and the OnlyFans site, as she put it so bluntly. That should be in your description. Here's a picture of me naked. Boom. That's it. That's all you need. You don't even need to describe yourself. Just here's a picture of me naked. Boom. That's it. See, bluntness to the 10th degree, and I love your bluntness, and I love your rawness, and it just shows in your overall passion and grind. So I got to give you much love and respect once more on that front.
I appreciate that. Thank you a lot.
You're very welcome. So, for Miss Angelina Knight, my name is Mike Larkin. Thank you so much for listening to this plethora of topics, if you will, in the pop culture podcast. Got to know a little bit about Angelina, got to know about myself, and really, we hope you made you laugh. We hope we entertained you. And most importantly of all, we hope we put a smile and evoke emotions on everybody's faces. And maybe we want to go punch some faces after this, after talking about these goddamn Gen Zs and late bloomers, sons of bitches. So on that note, my name is Mike Larkin for Angelina Knight. Thank you for listening to another edition of the Pop Culture History Podcast, and we will talk to you in the next episode. Thank you, Angelina.
Thank you so much.